What's up, y'all? Welcome back. I am here again, Sean, back for my first video summary of the book that I just read. I do want to shout out, it is Mother's Day weekend, so I want to shout out all those amazing superheroes and superhumans that we call mothers. You guys are amazing. Happy early Mother's Day. I am actually home this weekend in Alabama so that I can enjoy some time with the family as well. I haven't seen them in a minute. This whole COVID situation has really just been frustrating, but having the opportunity to come home, I felt like it was beyond needed. So I am home. And I will tell you this, this is my third video. The first one I recorded with the camera and my screen on, which was not what I wanted to do. So I had to turn around and record it again. Second time, I had my nephew, my awesome nephew, and my brother on the video in the background with loud music and talking to each other. And I was just like, yeah, probably not a good idea for that either. So, third time's a charm. Third video, I'm going to get this through. But once again, welcome back. Every 3 months, I will be doing a different topic. So right now, my topic is, and this is the first of the three books. So the first book is Battlefield of the Mind, and the topic is pastors that are authors, because I think they write some pretty awesome books, obviously. So the first book is Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. This book is really good. I started reading this like months ago and I never finished it, but I'm proud of myself. Pat myself on the back for finishing the book. But I kept going back and rereading stuff and going through and getting additional scriptures. No, I read it all the way through, highlights, notes, did everything, and I am grateful for it. So this is a really good book. So there are 3 points that she points out in this book, and those 3 points I'm going to hit on a little bit. Like I said, I still want you guys to read the book because I think it's a really good book, and maybe this will give you the interest to, or the curiosity to want to go ahead and pick it up and read it. But the first point I'm going to go ahead and start with is the importance of the mind. We all know the mind is a very complex thing. We're as humans, we're complex, but the mind, man, there's a lot of stuff that goes through the mind. So, just starting off, the mind is a battlefield. We are in a daily battle within our minds. And as Christians, Satan, he attempts to defeat us through deliberate and deceptive strategies. And one of his favorite strategies that he uses is, using our mind against us. So we have to learn how to really fight those battles on a daily basis, even. And Satan studies us to figure out like what we like and don't like. So in order for us to fight it back, we have to learn how to use God's word to really call out his lies and put our thoughts into a better focus, so to speak. And one of the scriptures, there's a million scriptures in this book, but one of the scriptures that popped up in the front, and which is, it kind of fits with, how Satan lies us and deceives us with the things that go on in life or whatever. But John 8:31 and 32, if you abide in my word and hold fast to my teachings and live in accordance with them, you are truly my disciples, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. It's one of my favorite verses, actually. Obviously in life, but it really fits into, Satan, giving us all of these lies. And it's just like understanding the word and knowing the word more and more. You can point out, yeah, that's a lie. It's not about to happen. That's not going to be me. We can fight those battles, with him on a daily basis. And another point that she was bringing up with the importance of the mind, it's important to, one, never give up. And it's important to be positive. So really focusing on the greater things in life, the positive things in life, the happy things in life. So no matter what we deal with in life and in our mind, it's important not to give up. And in order to have a better control over our lives, we have to learn how to push through those problems and not give up. And it really helps to focus on being more positive. So I think that's a big part of why we should not give up, but really focus on staying more positive. But there's a saying in the book that goes, positive minds will produce a positive life. I mean, just think about that. Focusing on all the amazing things and the great things in life, how can you not have a positive life? Kind of goes hand in hand. And then the last point with the importance of the mind, thinking about what you're thinking about. I mean, just that statement in itself is it's amazing. Understanding how to be aware of what's going on in that head of yours, what's going on in that brain of yours. So the word of God teaches us what we should be thinking about. And I mean, the Bible holds such amazing, amazing stories and lessons that apply to our life, even thousands of years later. So, I mean, just think about it, taking heed to the different lessons that you learn and the different stories that you hear about in the Bible, and really putting those to play and saying, okay, what am I actually thinking about? What were they thinking about in these stories that we're reading in the Bible? And how can we kind of improve that and find ways to fix it and say, okay, they went through it. Maybe I can learn from what they went through, what their thought process was, and me do the complete opposite. Maybe, you can learn so much from that. But be aware of what's going in your head, what's going through your head, and try to keep some of that negative, attitude and that negative energy out. I think it's widely important. And then the second point that she discusses is some conditions of the mind. Man, this was a good section, as well as the last section for me. I really enjoyed them. But the conditions of our mind can change often. They could change on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, probably minutes sometimes. There's so many thoughts that go through our head throughout the day that, I mean, it has to happen, right? So the book talks about different conditions of the mind. But the mind should be kept in a calm, quiet, and serene state. But as you will see, that is not usually the case. I mean, you're probably thinking now, like, man, there's definitely some conditions in my mind that I don't realize, but they pop up. And one of the conditions is a wandering mind. I mean, think about it. I mean, I have moments where my mind just wanders, and I'm just like, well, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be doing something. But when your mind is wandering, it's keeping busy, and it kind of makes it tougher to concentrate. So you kind of have to sit back and say, okay, what is causing my mind, to kind of wander away, and what's keeping me from focusing, and find a way to work on fixing it. So a wandering mind is tough, and it makes it hard to concentrate. I mean, think about school. If your mind is wondering about everything but school, then how are you able to study? How are you able to grasp the concepts? How are you able to make those great grades? It happens. And that's life. And as kids, it's even more tougher because they're coming out, and it's always, I want to enjoy, I want to have fun, da da da. But then when school comes, it's just like, oh man, I gotta sit down, I have to be quiet, I have to be still, I have to actually read too. It's a lot. But it's a continual thing that we have to continue to work on improving daily. Another one that really fits with me, man, is an anxious and a worried mind. This condition, continual battle to this day. Like, it's something that I've been fighting with for a long time. I mean, it is impossible to worry and be anxious and live at peace at the same time. I mean, think about that. If you're worried, if you're anxious, you can't be at peace. And it's important for your mind to be calm, quiet, and serene. So we have to learn how to seek God and allow life, allow yourself to live, be present, be in the moment. I mean, most of the time we're anxious because of something that's going to happen in the future, or we're worried about something that happened in the past that could affect the future. How about we learn how to live in the present and be content where we are. Pray more about your cares and worries and focus on what you already have and be appreciative of it. That's a huge way to kind of minimize the anxious mind and the wandering mind. Another point, which is one that was pretty interesting, and I think a lot of people don't think about it, but a passive mind. A passive mind is dangerous. I mean, it produces a lack of feeling, a lack of desire, and it produces laziness. I mean, just knowing that your mind is empty, I mean, that's a place in itself. Like some people be like, oh, I have to go to this place to focus and da da da. But think about a passive mind. I mean, you're literally like it's empty. You're just there. But that's a place too. But it's just like you have to learn how to really shy away from that because it also minimizes productivity. So we want to be productive in life and we want to reach our goals and we want to maintain some things in life. We have to not have a passive mind. And she has a great example of a wife and a husband and how the husband has a passive mind, but the wife has an aggressive mind and they battle and they're on the verge of divorce, guys. And they literally have to hone into, oh my gosh, what kind of condition of the mind do I have? Like, I have a passive mind. You know, the husband had a passive mind and it was really tough, to deal with, but both of them learning how to work on and improve their mindset better, help them to shy away from, going into the stage of actually having a divorce. So there are plenty other conditions of the mind, but I just wanted to hone into those few just so you can have it. But I mean, just read the book to get some additional ones as well. I think it's amazing. And so I'll give you the last point that she brought up, which was wilderness mentalities. So the Israelites, who were led by Moses in the Bible, they were in the wilderness, and this is kind of how she came up with the wilderness mentalities. But they were in the wilderness for 40 years in the process of getting to the promised land. They're in the wilderness for 40 years when in actuality it only was an 11-day journey. So I just want you to think about life and how you deal with so much and how you just compounds over the years and you're still dealing with it. And then when you finally figure it out and get through and push through and figure out, wow, it didn't even have to take me that long to do it. Like this is the perfect example. So that's how she came up with the wilderness mentalities. And so wilderness mentalities can be AKA wrong mindsets. So I'll give you a couple of these because these are pretty dope. And it's kind of like, some points that I was just like, yeah, it's definitely me. The first one is, please make everything easy. I can't take hard. So think about it. Most of the people would love it if they had an easy button. When I was in school, just getting through an exam, like I would have loved to just be like, boop, easy button, out of the exam. I passed. Keep it moving. But we have to learn how to fight and really work through these things so that we can be a better person. And it's an amazing saying that says the most difficult things will give you the greatest rewards. I want you to just think about that. Like, man, climbing those mountains, you get to the top, that view, it's beautiful. I mean, just think about it. I love that saying. So, when I think about it, man, I wish this was so much easier. But then in the end, it's like those journeys are what makes it life. So focus on that. Think about that. Another mentality is, oh, I can't help it. I'm addicted to complaining. Yeah, you can't help it. You really could. If you stopped complaining, you would be able to see the wonderful things in life. Just think about that mountain view again. It's an experience just to make it always to the top and an accomplishment. And then to see such a beautiful view when you get to the top. Yeah. So by always focusing on the good things, you bring a sense of happiness to yourself. So it's important to always think about that and not always feel like you have to complain because now you gotta start thinking about other people. Nobody wants to be around somebody that's always complaining. Nobody wants to work with somebody that's always complaining. Why would you want to be that person? Honestly, that should be your question with a lot of mentalities and conditions in this book. Why would you want to be that person? What do you get from being that person? What benefits you from being that person? So think about that from time to time when you're reading this book or having these mentalities. Another one is I feel sorry for myself. Oh, the woe is me person. That person that's just like, I'm just, I'm not good at that, so I suck, and I just can't do this. And another person, you'd be like, I don't know if I want to be around them either. No bueno, right? And the last one that I wanted to discuss was, why shouldn't I be jealous? Everybody is better off than I am. Man, that comparison mindset, it kills more often than most. So really try to focus on not comparing yourself to others, but really building off of who you are. I mean, compare yourself to what you did the day before. What did I do that was great the day before? Can I do it today? Can I do it better than I did it yesterday? Grow from who you are. Build on who you are. Don't continue to focus on comparing yourself to other people, because that honestly, it won't get you anywhere. So those are just some different points that I got from the book. And man, I just stress, guys, read this book. It is a really good book. Battlefield of the mind. I mean, just in the words, you're thinking like, man, it's always a battle when you think about the things that go through your head and trying to find peace and trying to find that push through to get from a negative thing more into a positive thing. So really think about that. And I would say, like, one of the things that I really learned from reading this book, and it's just the statement, I think this is actually the name of another book, I'm not sure, but the statement of, as a man thinketh, so he is, or so is he. I mean, whatever you're thinking about, it's who you are. What do you think about the most? That's who you are. So think about that when you're going through life and going through the motion. Think about what we're thinking about, guys. That is like a big part of, why this book was written. But really, as a man thinketh, so he is really truth, to life and to everything. We have to focus on thinking better and wanting to live better. And the way that we can do that is to build on our better mental habits every day. So one thing that I'll say is an action that I think would be great from reading this book is taking some of these wilderness mentalities that she posted in the book, or these conditions of the mind that she posted in this book, and really writing them down and saying, okay, I'm going to take one of these, and for the next year, I'm going to focus on it. I'm going to grab one. I don't want to complain anymore. So I want to focus on minimizing my complaining for the year and find ways to do it. Talk to friends and say, hey, what's a way that you stopped complaining? Or, hey, do I complain a lot? Find ways to improve yourself and become a better person. I mean, it really starts with reading and saying, hey, I'll have an action step every time I finish a book that I'm going to focus on, and really hone into that personal development and being a better person for it. So like I said, I love reading and I enjoy the books, and I think this is really a great book to read. And I'm probably going to say that with a lot of my books, but oh well. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe and like, and if you have any recommendations or any books that you've read that you want to share, feel free to share. I am here for it. I love it. I really appreciate you guys for watching. And with that note, I am going to go enjoy my family and think about what I've been thinking about and really hone into that. So you guys enjoy. I'll see you in another month. My next book, I'm excited about it because this is a pastor from someone from home, Pastor Van Moody from Birmingham, Alabama. He preaches at the worship center. So his book is called The People Factor, and it's on a relationship. So I'm excited to share that next month. So be prepared. That is the next book that I will be talking and discussing on. You guys enjoy. Once again, happy early Mother's Day, and I will talk to you guys soon.